BetOnline is the world's most trusted betting platform and your number one source for online betting in 2025. Whether you're a seasoned fan or a first-time bettor, BetOnline is your ultimate game day companion. With the largest selection of odds on everything from the NBA and college basketball to the NHL and UFC, BetOnline continues to be your number one sports betting source. From every three-pointer to every hat trick, BetOnline has you covered with odds, stats, and more for every game, every play, and every win. BetOnline, the game starts here.
What's going on, Tiger fans? This is Tiger Talk TV. Here's your host, Mo Knows, and my co-host, Fred the Ace. What's going on, Fred?
What's going on, Mo? What's going on? Talk to me.
Man, we had to have some exciting news to come out from SWAC. What you think about those preseason awards?
Honestly, if you follow it, like we follow it, it's kind of expected in some realms, right? You think about the pitcher of the year in Caleb Granger out of FAMU, and
Yeah.
then you come to you know a Jackson State team that returns its top three offensive production, at the plate, and it's led by the center fielder, Mr. McClatty. So I think it was rightfully so that he was selected as the SWAC preseason player of the year, and I think he's going to live up to those expectations and continue with the pitcher of the year. I think they went in kind of the right direction in selecting Granger from FAMU, but you could have also selected any of the pitchers from Bethune-Cookman's staff as well. So all in all, I think the coaches, the sports information directors, got those selection correct from a preseason SWAC standpoint. But again, it still comes down to, the games have to be played.
So it's safe to say the SWAC got it right. What I like
Yeah,
about it is in a lot of these preseason accolades and preseason awards, Joseph Eichelberg has been looked over, but he is first team all SWAC according to the SWAC. So I feel like the SWAC got it right as far as that is concerned. Kind of question about Robert Tate being second team shortstop, but he's young, and I feel like that's something he can work his way up to. Like you said, there's a lot to be said about those schools coming out of Florida with some of those picks with FAMU and Bethune-Cookman. One thing that did stand out to me that I didn't too much care for was a little bit of disrespect as far as picking us third behind Grambling and Bethune-Cookman. We did put Bethune-Cookman out last year, and we got to the SWAC championship and played Grambling.
Definitely. And I think probably going into a lot of that too as well, when you think about the SWAC, first team and second team, what's missing from Jackson State? And that's pitching. There's no pitchers that made either the first team or the second team. So I think that was probably factored into when you consider why, of course, Grambling the defending SWAC tournament champions, but then you get a Bethune-Cookman team who they felt like returned a lot, especially with what they have in the bullpen. I think their primary returnees are in the bullpen from a pitching perspective. I think they returned their the SWAC pitcher of the year from last year. So I think that factored into them being selected number two. And, they're always tough. They're always competitive. a team I think we've struggled with in the past outside of the SWAC tournament last year, which we beat 2 out of 3 times. But during the regular season, we've struggled against them since they made the move to the SWAC. So
now I understand what you're saying.
It's going to be a very competitive league. The SWAC is going to be very, very, very competitive, right?
Right. I like what D1 Baseball talked about. We're baseball insiders, and we got a little inside info from D1 Baseball, and we kind of heard what the scouts had to say. And one of the things that the scouts brought out was we have the core of our lineup back. I believe it was described as McClatty is very disruptive at the top of that batting order. So that's something I really look forward to. Him being named SWAC Player of the Year by the SWAC, I think that's huge. Many scouts believe that he's the best overall player in all of the SWAC. As far as baseball prospects go, I believe he's the 7th ranked player in the SWAC that they're predicting to get drafted. So look for him to have a big year. And I look for some of these guys that wasn't picked to show up and show out and prove it.
So what guys do you expect to show up and show out and prove it? Like what guys that weren't named here?
Eric Gonzalez, CJ Lewis. Those 2 guys at the back of that bullpen, they gotta prove it. Yeah, and I think CJ definitely is. I feel like CJ should have been on the All SWAC team. Far as players in the field, man, guys like Lady Alvarez, he got to prove it. We know what kind of bat he got. He got to prove it. He got to be consistent. Yeah. Tate was picked 2nd team. He got to prove it.
Yeah, he definitely has to prove it. The question remains, so you look at the first team, Kyler McIntosh from Alabama State. That's who made first team over Tate.
Right.
And, McIntosh was a pretty consistent, pretty standout player for Alabama State. So, I mean, definitely, we definitely leaves a lot to be desired from a pitching standpoint when you look at our roster. But, we lost all 3. We lost
all the weekend on.
Weekend arms. So we're bringing in, we're going to be counting on some guys, depending on guys to step up, right? Guys that have pitched, that have had extended innings coming out of the bullpen and may have been midweek starters. So we're going to be counting on those guys. And February 14th, we'll see who he rolls out as the starter versus Grambling, a rematch of the SWAC championship game.
Right. And I feel like we got a little spice. A little spice that was added to that game. Some of these names that we've seen on Grambling roster, one name that really stood out to me, Shannar Brown, former first baseman at Jackson State. I kind of look forward to that matchup.
All SWAC freshmen, all world freshmen at Jackson State.
Transferred out of Jackson State, went to ULM. Now he's at Grambling. Another kid that we recruited real hard, Trey Bridges, a kid that's now at Grambling. So I feel like they had a little bit of spice. So Tiger fans in Houston area try to watch that game.
It was already an intense rivalry, right?
Especially between the coaches.
There. You're talking about 2 programs that are, 2nd and 3rd in the SWAC and total SWAC championship, right?
Right.
So, Grambling just ended a long drought last year in the SWAC tournament. It had been a long time since they had won, the SWAC baseball championship, but they have a proud and rich history in that sport, similar to Jackson State, similar to Southern. So you can expect when those 2 teams meet on the field for it to be a very intense, very competitive affair, right? 2 teams that, to say the least, don't necessarily like each other a whole lot.
And you can feel
that diamond, right?
You can feel it.
So we're looking forward to it, and looking forward to, we talked about some guys with a lot to prove, right? But we got some guys that made the first team that are looking to prove the writers, prove the coaches right. They voted them first team.
Correct.
When you think about Eichelberg, and then you think about preseason SWAC player of the year, who in my opinion is the best player in the SWAC.
McGladden.
Right? And I think, he's going to go out and prove that. If with a healthy season, again, have to stay healthy, but I think he can go out and prove why he's the best player in the SWAC from a bat as well as his performance out in the field.
For someone who wasn't chosen, who would be that person that you want to see step up and be all SWAC at the end of the season? In order for us to be successful, who's that person that you think needs to have a big season that hasn't been mentioned?
I think Davion Hall at the plate.
If he can protect Eichelberg.
If he can come in, protect them guys at the front, at the top, and I could expect him to be within, top 5, top 6 batters, right? I think we can expect a lot from him. So I think that's one guy that's probably, we know what his bat can do. Last year faced a lot of injuries, right? So he was in and out of the lineup. But this year, hopefully we can get a much healthier Davion Hall and see what he can do at the plate. We know he can rake. That's one thing he can do. So that's one guy, I think. And we talked about another guy. We haven't talked about, unfortunately, yet, and Eric Elliott.
Okay.
Maryland Eastern Shore transfer.
6'3" left-hander.
Pitcher, right? It's the guy, is he going to be the ace, right? Because he's going to be the ace that we're looking for, the number one pitcher that we're looking for, right? And when it comes
shut down guy.
Yes, and when it comes to Jackson State, that ace can be either Friday or they could be Sunday, depending on, who we're playing. Because if we want to sweep somebody,
you gotta have it on
Sunday, right? But if we want to get off to a good start, he might be that Friday starter. So that's one guy I'm excited about seeing, and I think if he's what the scouts say he is, gonna have an exciting season.
Hey, I look forward to it. There's only one way to find out. I appreciate you, Fred.
Yes, sir. Anytime, always, man.
Go Tigers.
Go Tigers.
Tiger Talk TV is presented by Bet Online.